him all these drugs and how much they prescribed him.
This is a case, we have sources connected to all of this, and we will tell you this case is squarely focusing on overprescribing of drugs like Percocet. As we told you, Percocet almost killed Prince 6 days before he died when he had to make that emergency landing. They had to give him a safe drug at the airport. Well, we are told that the investigation in Minnesota is focusing on the number of doctors who overprescribed to Prince because they believe that this was overprescribing. 2, any aliases that Prince might have used, because doctors can get in trouble for that as well. And 3, what the pharmacies were doing, because remember, he made at least 4 trips to pharmacies in the 7 days before he died, and the last pharmacy he went to hours before his death, that picture there is at a pharmacy that's 6.1 miles from his home, and there were a cluster of pharmacies right by his home. And then the question, why did he go all the way up there when he could have gone down there? What I know the operating theory is that he had to spread it out. He's gone to so many pharmacies that he had to spread it out the way you spread out the number of doctors.
I was just going to say, Harvey, yeah, just to explain that even further, this drug specifically is very controlled by the government. You cannot just go to a pharmacy, even if you have a prescription from your doctor, and get multiple stacks of Percocet. You can't go get 30 and then the next day or 2 days later go get 30 more. It is very controlled. It's a computer system that red flags the pharmacist if you're somebody who has been overprescribed. It literally is controlled by a computer. So you're right. We are told that this investigation is square on those 3 things because it's obvious to them based on 2 things. 1, what they found at Prince's house. 2, what's in his bloodstream. And 3, the guy overdosed on Percocet 6 days before he died. So they know what they're looking for.
And they apparently got a call from one of his reps called an addiction specialist in California saying the day before he died, you got to get here because he's going to die. And they were right.
Right, exactly. And so I think it is obvious to law enforcement how they can crack this case.
Right.
And I don't even think, and based on the phone calls I made today, that it's even gone national, because they've got enough evidence that they're working on just around his house in Minnesota with pharmacies, doctors, and overprescribing, that's the key to the investigation.
I got to say one other thing, and Mike, you and I have worked on so many of these cases together, and I don't want to diminish this, but it's cookie cutter. I mean, it's like somebody gets hooked on a prescription drug, they can only get so many from a certain doctor may or may not write alias prescriptions for that person, then they start spreading it out. They go to different doctors, different pharmacies. It's what addicts do.
There's only so many ways you can get it.
That's right. In the end, there's always 2 things that happen. There's either a Dr. Feelgood, and the's somebody like Conrad Murray with Michael Jackson who ends up in the middle of it because they've decided to give the celebrity what they want. Or 2, exactly what happened here, which is a doctor from somewhere else is involved trying to give them another drug that may help them kick their habit, but also may be fatal. I talked to somebody yesterday, guys, who said Suboxone, which is the drug, buprenorphine is an ingredient in Suboxone, can be fatal if it's given the wrong way or in a large dose. Right. So again, this is where it always ends up. We saw this with Nicole Smith too, Harvey. Methadone is something they tried to use for her to get off of the opiates. It ended up that she was abusing methadone. And so again, I think all of this, like you said, is cookie cutter, and that's exactly what they've zeroed in on in the investigation.
Hey guys, this is Vivian in Dallas, and we've seen this so many times, and medical professionals, they have to be held to a higher standard. They are responsible for people's lives, and in an effort to gain more money or make the quick dollar or to be liked or please this person, they overprescribe, and you just can't do that. People are dying, and these people take an oath to protect and to do no harm, and they should have to stand up to that and be held accountable.
Well said. Yeah, by the way, there was one other factor that she didn't mention, which is getting close to celebrities, which is...
Well, she did say they want to be liked.
They want to be liked, but liked by celebrities. It is a toxic thing. Okay, one more quick thing.
Yeah, real quick, want to show you what went down at Beyonce's